Guys, welcome back to Glam Finds, and I'm here with a double fragrance review. So this one has actually been really requested. These are from the house of Afnan. They're Afnan 9AM Pour Femme and 9PM Pour Femme. So let's go ahead and start off with Afnan 9AM Pour Femme. Okay, so as you can kind of tell, this is more of a daytime fragrance, kind of leads in that direction. I'm going to read you the notes, and I'm going to tell you what I smell, because I don't find that those two things are exactly the same. So, in the notes, you have mandarin, bergamot, and grapefruit, black currant and raspberry, musk, orange, and amber. Now, when I smelled this the first time, I didn't read the notes until right now. By the way, I should probably tell you that. I read them just so I could read them off to you guys, and when I was looking at them, I was like, that makes no sense. It is on strip here. I get a bubblegummy tuberose in the vein of something like kind of a velvet vanilla by what's it called, Mancera, but not as sweet. And this has more freshness to it, kind of from like some fresh florals and the citruses, because you're gonna get the citruses in the black currant, but this has a tuberose to it. This is kind of like, I thought this was a tuberose fragrance. Yeah, it's a bubblegummy tuberose that I'm gonna get. And I'm not really picking up the raspberry that much, which is really funny because I can usually pick up raspberry. I do like that. I don't know what it is, and I'm talking on strip and on skin because I've worn it on skin several times and I thought it was a tuberose fragrance all of those times. So the notes say one thing, but what I'm smelling on skin, on strip, everything is like this nice bubblegummy, not too bubblegummy, tuberose scent with kind of these nice fresh florals and nice citruses and some sweetness to it. It smells to me really good. And of the two, I actually like this one more. Now I'll talk more about what other people like more later in the video, but I prefer this one. I like tuberose scents. Again, it doesn't say tuberose, but call me crazy, that's what I smell. I don't know why or what I'm smelling that's giving me that. Yeah, I don't know. And it could be just like the blend of a couple of things is making like that tuberose scent. But the thing is, I'm doing this video to tell you what I smell, because you could go online, pull up the notes any day. It doesn't really make a difference. What you smell in the notes, they're not always going to be the same thing. So that's what I smell. So to my nose, this is a nice, fresh, kind of sweet tuberose fragrance. And I think it's really nice. So in terms of performance, I wouldn't say it's beast mode by any means, but I do get above average performance. I will say this, with tuberose scents, with most tuberose scents, I feel like the projection in the first couple of hours tends to be above average. And I would say that goes with certain florals in general. This is no exception. The first couple of hours, your projection is going to be above average. Now, sillage, also I would say above average. Longevity, not as long as the projection would suggest. I think for this one, I assumed it would last like 10 plus hours. It doesn't, but I get almost a full work day, almost 8 hours, but not quite. I would say this one is gonna vary between 6 to 8 hours. You'll get the 6 hours, but it's not gonna be strong all 6 hours. But it is fairly good for the type of fragrance that it is, because in terms of when you would wear this, to me, this is daytime fragrance. Not anything that I'm gonna need more than 8 hours from, to be completely honest. But I don't feel like it's ever that weak. So as long as it stays on your skin, and if you spray clothes, you're gonna get more. I don't spray clothes. I just do, and especially with floral fragrances, I do just a few sprays on my neck because I am a little bit more cautious, because people tend to have more allergies to floral fragrances. And again, what I pick up out of this fragrance is tuberose. Tuberose gets me a lot of compliments. So in terms of compliments, this one does get compliments, especially because it is sweeter, it is floral, it is something that people like to smell. So it's going to be up there on the people-pleasing fragrances, but in terms of who can wear it, I would say it is a pretty feminine fragrance. It does say 9AM Pour Femme. Typically, I don't go by that because I know a lot of men that can pull off florals better than me, to be completely honest. But yeah, you're gonna get the tuberose, and it is a little sweeter, so I would say yes, it definitely leans feminine. If you can rock tuberose as a gentleman, I would say give it a shot. It might be a little too sweet for you, because I feel like maybe that's why it'll be a little rough to rock, but I would say this is definitely a spring, summer fragrance. You could wear it in the fall, but there's better things to wear. Spring, summer, daytime. You could wear it on a day date. I feel like it is a really pretty fragrance. So anything you're doing during the day, I would say. I wouldn't call this something that you could wear to work because it is a little bit too pretty. Although, you know, if you're gonna go slightly dressed up to work, but it's a little bit flirty. You know what? I'm gonna say no on work. It is a flirty fragrance. I don't know that you're gonna wanna wear this to work. If that's what you're going for, do it. But I just felt like I should mention that. So I would say above average performer, good scent profile. If you like tuberose fragrances, this is gonna be for you, especially if you like the kind of bubblegummy tuberose fragrances. Yeah, that's what I get out of that. Again, you know, the more I smell it, off of strip, not off of skin and not in the air. I'm thinking maybe it's like the mandarin mixing with the raspberry. It could be that's what's giving it to me. Maybe with some of that musk and amber. It's possible, but I'm just telling you, like, if you like the scent of tuberose, that's what I get from this. And I like to be completely honest. If I smell tuberose initially and that's what I thought it was, then I need to be honest about that. But it's not an aggressive tuberose. It's a really nice floral fragrance. Now, next we're going to talk about Afnan's 9PM pour Femme. Same thing with this one. The first time I ever read the notes was right now, and it a little bit threw me off, just a little bit. One part didn't. So here we go. Raspberry, apple, violet, and orange, rose, peony, iris, and jasmine, cedar, cypress, pine tree, and amber. I don't get any pine tree. I don't know where that's supposed to be. The note that you're gonna get is raspberry, and it has this kind of slightly leathery thing that you're gonna get. I don't know what that could be from. Unless it's a mixture of the violet with something else. But you're gonna get the raspberry, and then you're gonna get the sweetness from the apple and orange for sure. You're gonna get some florals. It is not a floral smelling fragrance though. I think they're really more supporting notes than anything. To me, this is a raspberry dominant fragrance with like the thicker florals like rose behind it, which could honestly be giving me the leather. That has to be it. And that's what you're going to smell. It has a touch of a cough syrupy vibe. People in the wild didn't get that. I get that. People seem to like this one. So it really is just a mixture of that raspberry and rose. That rose has almost this leathery vibe. It's really nice, but just remember in the opening, and when it dries down, it starts to fade away. There's like a little bit of a cough syrup vibe. As that fades off, it gets nicer. And this one performs for sure. I got above average performance, and I actually let friends of mine wear it because, you know, obviously if we're getting dressed here and we're going somewhere, people are gonna wear my fragrances. There's no reason not to. There's a ton of them. I'm never gonna run out. So I've smelled it on myself and I smelled it on other people, and I would say the sillage is pretty good. Definitely good projection for the first couple of hours. And this one, longevity wise, I would say lasts over 8 hours. I would say between 8 and 10 hours. So this one lasts longer and it projects heavier, and it is a thicker fragrance altogether. The rose in here is thick. I'm telling you, it gives it a little bit of that leathery vibe. I thought I was getting leather initially. Not an abrasive leather, nothing like La Yucawam, but you're gonna get that something leathery mixing in with the raspberry. It is sweet. It is definitely sweet. And I want to be completely honest that the opening, you're going to get that cough syrupy vibe. And if you go in really deep, you're going to get it again. But in the air, it does kind of dissipate in the first couple of minutes. And it gets nicer. So I do smell the violet in here. I like the violet. I feel like it kind of gives it a little bit of balance because I think it would probably have been a little bit too sweet without that. It's nice. It is a nice fragrance. Again, if you like things that have that kind of raspberry, leathery, thick rose vibe, it's not jammy, not to my nose at least, but it is a thicker rose, not a fresh rose by any means. Seasons fall and winter for sure. It is sweeter, it is pour femme, it is feminine leaning. It's probably not something that I would consider a mature fragrance. Neither one of them would be. I would say they lean a little bit younger. In terms of when you could wear it, this one would be more of a date night fragrance. It says PM. Again, fall, winter, more evening time, maybe a little bit more dressed up. Not super mature, so keep that in mind. It's also a little bit flirty because it is sweeter. It is, neither one of them is groundbreaking, but I don't have anything exactly like either one. Again, in the realm of other things, maybe, sure, but not exactly. Do I think that these are clones? Well, I would only have been able to answer that question if I own what they're cloning, and I don't. And I know that because they don't smell groundbreaking, but they don't smell exactly like anything I own. A lot of Middle Eastern houses seem to be kind of like smelling different things and kind of mixing them and making a blend, which I'm going to be completely honest, I prefer that because I don't want to have something that's redundant. And sometimes they get a little bit creative and I like their fragrances a little bit more than what they were inspired by anyways. So these, again, you'll have smelled things like them before, but they're going to be a little bit different. I would say the one that is easier to wear, the one that I probably still like a little bit more, not as big of a crowd favorite as the other one, is 9AM, because I do like that. What smells like tuberose, but apparently isn't. And if you have worn this or if you've smelled this, please comment and let me know if you thought that there was tuberose in it as well. But this one, in terms of compliments, this one definitely pulls compliments. In fact, it pulls a lot of compliments. It was really interesting because when I smelled this one, I was like, oh, that's kind of like a cough syrupy raspberry. You judge things immediately when you try them, right? So that's what I thought. And then within hours, compliments. So I guess every nose is different. I know that I can't typically handle thicker, sweeter fragrances the way other people can, but it's a crowd favorite. This one still will get you compliments. It's just, you may, for me, like when I'm wearing it during the day, I'm not going to encounter the same amount of people versus when I'm going out in the evening wearing the 9PM. So I think that could also be the difference. Yeah, I really love this fragrance. It's really nice for a nice, really pretty, like kind of white top situation, rocking it during the day in the sun. It's fresh, it's clean, it's sweet. It kind of has a little bit of everything. But if you just want to wear something that is kind of people-pleasing and you want it to cut through the cold, 9PM. Yeah, it smells really good. It does. They both smell really good. I haven't tried an Afnan to date that I haven't liked, so realistically, I don't think that I'm going to. I'm hoping. They've been some of the better blind buys for me in terms of hit versus miss. I think they're almost at 100% how many I've enjoyed from their house. So that is my review of 9AM and 9PM Pour Femme. I picked them up randomly on a whim, and I think that they're pretty easy wears, and for the price that I got them at, honestly, no regrets. I think that they're a good add to my collection, especially because their bottles are super solid and their performance. Afnan has never been a slouch in the performance department, and again, scent profile so far, they've been all hits. If you've tried either of these, let us know in the comments what you think. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like this video if you liked it, be subscribed to my channel, hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop a new video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!